Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham El Jaguar, a professional game master. First of all, this channel is proudly sponsored by the following publishers. First, Mythos Games with the Eros Engine core rulebook, a standalone tabletop role-playing game that also works as an add-on for any other tabletop RPG, focusing on romance, passion, and the physicality of intimate encounters. Definitely check it out. Next we have Detri Studios, the publishers and developers of Dames of Asstoria, a tabletop role-playing game where you play as monster girls experiencing high adventure in a world that doesn't fully accept them. They have also released the pay-what-you-want tabletop RPG Daughters of Lamb, where you get to play as cybernetic nuns with guns, looking for the missing pieces of their AI god. Then we have the Red Room Publishing. Please check out their store for exclusive tabletop RPG products and check out their free tabletop RPG, the Red Roleplaying Game, a generic system that is able to handle any sort of theme, genre, flavor, setting that you can think of. All of the links to these amazing publishers will be in the description and in the pinned comment as well. Today I continue my review series featuring Era Lost Legend. If you haven't seen the other parts of this review series, featuring this Final Fantasy inspired tabletop role-playing game, please check out the playlist in the description below. Now, a moment please while I maximize. Today I am going to continue talking about the included fiction, because just like with many other games by in the Era series, you have wonderful text revealing so many things about the world, the player characters, or rather the characters that you could play as, that you could create. Characters similar to those amazing heroes and flawed heroes as well. You also have details on the game world, the objects, everything. So in this case, we are going to talk about the part of the saga called Leaving the City. There are some very important highlights here. When it comes to the player characters escaping someplace potentially very dangerous, here you have the perfect example. Handling things in character. You don't need to go out of character to handle those escape the dangerous zone situations. Describe what your characters are saying, or talk as your characters if you find it more fun. So here you have the potential problems and solutions to an escape situation. Will you be able to avoid unnecessary fights while leaving the city? Are you going to be spotted? What are you going to do after you leave the city? What is the best route? Have you managed to identify the weakest area, the weakest section of the city, so that you can make your escape through that section? But you also have the banter, the conflicts, the tensions that could arise specific to this setting between the ethereals and the people that have them embedded, their very body and mind. Because for those of you that do not remember or do not know, here you have ethereals. You can roleplay as an ethereal, it's a type of player character. But ethereals need to be connected, embedded upon some other individual in the group. And as an ethereal, you have access to the inner thoughts of that individual. So imagine you have this entity constantly looking at your inner dialogue. So yeah, that's tough, right? Because especially if the ethereal is not very merciful when it comes to the things that he sees inside of your head. So yeah, you have those situations, that banter, that tension between the ethereal and the host. But I really like how this part of the fiction encapsulates all of that. That single, we need to escape this dangerous place, and many nuances, many layers could be further explored through roleplay. And this concludes this part of the review series. In the next part, we're going to continue with the fiction. A moment, please. Let me minimize myself. I really like it how in all of the era tabletop RPGs, you have the dedicated chapters for the different areas, the people, the culture, etc., species, but you also have fiction. You have these wonderful fragments giving you so many details about the game world and how the characters interact between each other, considering the context, the dangers, the problems, as well as the solutions. And this short story or this segment of the saga of making their way out of the city, there is a sense of urgency and excitement. But at the same time, like I said, you're having those tensions with the ethereal and everybody in the group, in the party. They are trying to figure out, discussing how to make their way out of the city without drawing too much attention, if they will have to fight, if they will be able to secure a vehicle, what type of vehicle, etc. Thank you for watching this part of the review series. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the super thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description and in the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master, and remember, in tabletop role-playing games, you're not telling stories about your character. You are experiencing the game world as your character. Once again, thank you and see you later.